Hey everybody, it's Stofers and we're back again with always the same blue sky. Now, we apparently just dived into some water where we kind of sort of can't breathe or something. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she's a mermaid and this is just some big hype that's building all up to it. Anyway, let's continue. So, the tunnel wasn't long, but it led to one of the most beautiful sights I'd seen in my life. The isolated pool held a denser, warmer water that casted dancing reflections all over the walls. It felt like a bath at the perfect temperature. My guess is that the area was saturated with salt as we could lie fully supported in comforting, rocking arms of azure. This could actually be paradise. We should just stay here forever, she uttered faintly. Kira gently maneuvered herself closer to me so that we were lying side by side, watching the clouds together. Self-contained masses of water floating high above us in the sky seems pretty amazing when you think about it. Oh yeah, totally. Kira pondered. When I was growing up, I was told the clouds are formed by fish that have escaped the sea. I remember thinking, this doesn't make much sense to me. Why would a fish want to escape the sea? Apparently if they swim as fast as they can towards the seabed, then career sharply upwards. They trap thin layers of water and air around them. So when they leap out of the sky and spread their fins as wide as they can, they simply carry on traveling in the angle they left the water, until eventually they reach the sky. Oh. Apparently whales inhabit the largest clouds, but I don't believe that bit. Oh, and you believe the rest? That sounds like a robust theory to me. I said, mustering up all the energy I could as I felt Kira look over expectantly. In all honesty, I blanked out halfway through her story. Her voice was just so soothing, I felt like I was curled up by a warm fire. Kira didn't say anything for a while. I looked over to make sure she hadn't sunk. She didn't look impressed. You didn't hear any of that, did you? Of course I did. About how fish live in clouds. My sense shut off as I realized how ridiculous that sounded. Kira knew exactly what was going on. I looked over to confirm, and as expected, her expression hadn't changed. This pushed me over the edge. I tried to stifle it initially, but couldn't stop myself laughing, especially when Kira's stony gaze broke. We lay there, comfortably roasting in the bright sun, soaking in the warm atmosphere with the tranquility extending time, until inevitably the sun began to set. It's getting late, Kira muttered disappointedly. We should head back. The sea glowed a beautiful, rich color as the sun bestowed a last burst of energy upon it, longing that it would be enough to survive its cold, unforgiving lunar misters. Kira reached the shore before me and, crouching down, pushed her fists into the wet sand, using them to hoist herself up. She walked towards our blanket and the fading sun twinkling off her wet body. Oh boy. She looked over her shoulder at me as I clumsily clambered out of the salty expanse, not focusing on my coordination. Kira was sat on the blanket with her legs to one side when I finally caught up. Water dripped from her face as she smiled warmly at me. Here. I offered, holding out a towel. She leant closer, put her hand on the towel as if to take it, but didn't. Our faces were now only inches apart. You know what? I've been thinking. When we're young, we're taught not to trust our own judgment and to second guess everything we do. I've come to realize that there's no reason to live in fear of our convictions. If you can't trust yourself, then how can you expect to trust anything? I have firm beliefs, and I know that what I'm doing is right. It may feel difficult, superficially, but I have a job to do for the greater good. That being said, I regret that I chose you. Aw, man. Am I gonna die now? Is she gonna kill me? I'm scared. What's gonna happen? Oh. Kira leant in closer to kissed me. The moment I had pined for since the very second I laid my unmarred eyes on her. I instantly lost myself in a wave of endorphins. I never felt more alive, more detached from this world. Yet there was a tinge of an emptiness that was rapidly growing. I opened my eyes to see the characteristic green of her irises seep out of their confines. I knew she was draining my essence. I could feel my soul leaving, yet I couldn't move. Hell, I didn't want to move. Holy shit. I passed out. What the fuck? Are you serious? Am I dead? Is this it? Owadi? Is it over? What happened? Oh my god, I'm dead. Black screen. What? Am I supposed to click something? Oh. Damn it, I hate when they do that. Oh, bummer, dude. So wait, so why... I don't get it. So she chose to not kick it with me, just to kick it with me, and then just to kind of eat my soul or something. I don't know. I was coaxed out of darkness by a rough lapping of the life-giving ocean, accompanied by an exhausted yet still desperate sobbing. It was the latter that truly woke me up. I could feel it resonate deep within me. Her pain was now my pain. No, it had always been, even before our fated encounter. I slowly opened my eyes to see a scene very different to the one I had left behind. Bathed in the sad, pale light of the large full moon which watched us eagerly not far above the horizon, Kira was sat cradling her knees. Kira? I attempted hoarsely. The sobbing stopped instantly. Now only the waves remained. She darted ahead in my direction and gazed intensely into my eyes, as if trying to solve a complex puzzle. Her now conventional, dulled eyes stood out even more than normal from her tear-stained, disheveled visage, or maybe it's just because I'd seen what they were capable of. Either way, her gaze consumed me completely. I could see how she was failing to solve the puzzle as tears began to form once again. Kira looked out to the sea as she tried to gulp them down. I wasn't strong enough. I couldn't do it. Her voice was hoarse, barely a whisper. I'm ready to accept my fate. Kira closed her eyes for a few seconds, trying to compose herself. Opening them again gained her focus. Her speech was much clearer now. I was not born in the earth like you. I am the embodiment of the sea, the daughter of celestial beings. I have been conscious for millennia. The moon flickered in her eyes as she moved her gaze farther out to sea. I was left to watch over a mass far greater than the soil humans inhabit, and to protect and nourish a far broader range of creatures. Left completely alone, I struggled with this unimaginable burden, a struggle made harder by your selfish race. From constant pollution to farming entire species to death, as time progressed, like a thriving plague, you only brought more destruction. I watched you fervently, trying to dissect what made you behave in such a way. As my frustration at the lack of the rightful reason grew, so did my fascination. I realized I possessed similar traits to your kind, buried somewhere deep within me, not needing to be displayed, so therefore remaining hidden. The connection I felt became an obsession, one that deeply intertwined with loathing. With that, she clutched her hands to her heart as if in pain. Following Kira's gaze, I focused my attention on the sedated waves. The reflection of the moon seemed to have been trying its best to stay together, but was constantly distorted by lightly spitting rain. I wondered if this was a metaphor for Kira. I was approached by a forgotten ancient and offered the chance to become human, to walk amongst you. In return, I had no problem seducing and sacrificing one human soul to the shrouded apparition every lunar cycle. It turns out I didn't have the strength to fulfill my oath this time. I felt Kira realign her gaze in my direction. She smiled gently. Thank you, Stove. Sorry. Thank you, Stove. I thought I knew what it meant to be human, but I realized I never truly did, and I wouldn't trade the gift you've given me for the world. Kira's voice cracked. I love you. I numbly turned to meet her gaze. Just wish I'd realized it sooner. Now my only wish is that one day you'll be able to forgive me. Kira. I mouthed soundlessly as she crawled towards me, tears streaming down her face. Still smiling, Kira put her fingers over my lips before her hair was slung wildly towards by the sea, sudden gush of unending wind. The waves became ferocious as they tried to call her in, and the rain heavier, wearing the whole scene down. Determined to let her warmth penetrate through my mistrust she'd created, Kira didn't flinch once as her legs began to float skywards, then to lifting the rest of her body. Without moving her finger, she leaned toward and kissed me on the cheek. I felt her warm, salty tears run down the side of my face, expressing what I was unable to. She was hurled suddenly backwards toward the sea. The bracelet I had once seen her without since the day on the rocks, which now seemed like a lifetime ago, was torn off her wrist and left at my feet. Kira looked terrified, reaching out towards it as she was forced away, seeing her face like that was stabbed in the heart, one that would leave a deep scar. Silhouetted in front of the full moon, every aspect of her fought wildly against its fate. Kira violently burst into the water that was her everything. The lifeless droplets shimmered in the moonlight as they reluctantly fell into the illuminated sea. Now indistinguishable from the rain, the sea, the water that will sustain me, and my children, she will follow me always, under the same blue sky. Oh my god, that was so good! Oh, man. Okay, so if I'm really gonna have to break this game down, or this visual novel down, I don't know. It was written really well. I thought the dialogue was really good. I don't know. I like how the options were. I don't know. I just like the options. I felt as if I fucked up somehow, and that I could have probably gotten a better or worse ending. I don't fucking know. And now I'm like left kind of wondering if I should probably pursue this or look up something, or I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I. Is there anything? Oh. If you try to explore the tile screen, you never know. You may even hold a secret. Winky face. Are you serious, dude? Alright. Oh, fuck. Okay. Alright, let's check it out. Exploring the title screen. What does that mean? What do? What do? What's that? Can I click on stuff? What if I click on her face? Or... Oh, what? The tale's been passed on for generation to generation, for as long as anyone around here can remember. I first heard it myself when I was but a wee lass, tucked tight in bed. I can't do it. It was the night before Christmas, and there was a magic in the air. This island isn't a good home for owls. There isn't much shade, and it's too hot for their thick coats. So it makes perfect sense that you haven't seen one before, doesn't it? Why I'm asking you this will become clear later in the story. You'll just have to trust me for now. Tommy was out with his parents getting fresh bread and fish for supper when he was distracted by the biggest, ugliest fish he'd ever seen. Mommy, what's that? What's this called? Sorry, damn it, I can't do it. Okay. Tommy shouted, fixated on it. There was no response. Tommy turned around, only just realizing the store was full to the brim with people. Mummy? Daddy? Tommy tried again, a little desperation in his voice this time. He could feel tears beginning to well up in his eyes, but being brave and holding them back, decided to wait patiently outside. As more and more time passed, and one by one the shops began to close, Tommy found it harder and harder to keep the tears at bay. As the sun began to sink below the buildings, Tommy's tears surfaced. Crying into his sleeve, Tommy didn't see the old man approach. What's wrong, boy? Tommy looked up and saw an old man wearing peculiar clothing, tattered and old. To suit his long, curly mustache, behind the bristles Tommy could see his face was kind. Have you lost your parents? Tommy nodded sheepishly, sniffing, trying to stop his tears. He wasn't having much luck. I'll tell you a story, and before you know it, your parents will be back for you. The old man must have seen the doubt on Tommy's face. Been around for a long time. I'm very rarely wrong these days, the old man said with a warm smile and winked. Did you know that the old Mr. Owl is the reason owls have the reputation of being wise? He actually lives on this very island, in fact, but he spends a lot of time away from home, years on end. During his time away, he's out learning all he can about the world, from watching over ancient tribes in hidden parts of the misty rainforests, to perching on the gates of ancient temples in the heart of Kyoto. Sorry, I'm like having a hard time. I just drank a lot of water earlier, and it's kind of like killing me. As I'm sure you know, owls only have small brains, so it is said the reason he returns home is to restore his memories in a sacred birdcage, making room for his next trip. The owl showing up is so cute! Some say the old owl is an ancient deity that has been cursed into this feathery form in order to learn a lesson, so he patiently watches the world, trying to understand the error of his ways, and return to his true form. Even rarer than Mr. Owl's return is the chance you'll find a feather he shed wilts on this island. His feathers are said to be imbued with special power, one that's said to give its owner great courage, the power to accomplish anything. I'm an old man now. I've lived my life, and a very full one at that. I'm sure I have the mysterious feather I found as a boy to thank. Hold out your hand, son. The old man said, as a matter of factly. Tommy responded with one last sniffle and proceeded to rub his nose as the old man rummaged around in his coat pocket. He went to wipe away the water from his eyes, but stopped when the old man produced an almost translucent beige feather, unlike anything Tommy had ever seen. Even though the daylight was fading, the weather sparkled wildly, like a crystal caught in the midday sun. The old man placed the feather in Tommy's hands and closed his fingers around it. Barely a second had passed before he heard worried shouts, "Tommy! Tommy!" Tommy looked over to see his parents running tearfully towards him, and from that moment on, Tommy knew he would always be alright. Before running to his parents, Tommy turned back to thank Old Man, but there was no sign of him. It is said that Tommy opens the door of the birdcage upon the Mr. Owl's expected return, and leaves the finest seeds he can to find there as gifts of gratitude. He passes the tradition on to his grandchildren, asking them to pass it to theirs. Tommy had no idea that owls don't eat seeds. Aw, poor kid. That's so cute. Kimmy, expert storyteller, proud owner of glitzy glass. Oh, that's so cute. Oh man, this story is just so good. Okay. So I guess I'm gonna stop here for now. I'm gonna explore the title screen a little more, and then maybe hopefully we'll find something else. If not, I'm gonna definitely look up more about this game and see what I've probably been missing. So thanks for watching, guys. You guys are so awesome. But for now, I guess that this is kind of the soft ending until I can figure out what else is here. So I'll see you guys later. Hey everyone, it's Stuffers, and thanks again for watching part 3 of Always the Same Blue Sky. Okay, so I guess we got eaten. I don't know. We're dead now, guys? Are we dead? I don't know. Okay, so I'm totally gonna go through this game again and try and figure out everything, and I'll let you guys know what's going on. So thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, please subscribe, please check out my other videos, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.